First of all, I thank you very much for watching our crazy uh, depiction of, uh, or a crazy interpretation of the political race. Um, yes, it could not come at a better time. Um, and I just want to give you a little bit of the genesis of this particular play. I was in a hospital recovering from surgery, and as in the play, there was this oval track around the entire floor with the all of the equipment and the nurses and doctors clustered in an island around which this track went. Um, and my wife and I were walking around this track, um, and I was telling her what terrific care I was getting. I said, I just can't imagine anyone getting better care. And as we did, we passed the sign for the name of the people who had basically uh, uh, donated the money for this wing, and these people are people who politically I hate. Uh, they are wealthy right wingers, um, and so I turned to my wife, who is a liberal to say the least, and I said, I I feel very funny because I should feel more angry at this, these people who created this ward, but they, they provided this great health care. And she said, "Don't go there." That was the end of that conversation. Um, and I know just what she was saying. But it is a paradox that in some cases, some of our greatest institutions are were created by hateful people. Um, I think it was Balzac who said, "All great fortunes are based on a crime." Um, so uh, that was the genesis of the play, and I said to myself, wouldn't it be interesting if we had uh, two people, of one liberal like me and one the opposite, uh, walking around the track together? What would happen? Uh, so the play was born, but I couldn't figure out how to make a political play out of it. So I made a comedy out of it, a four-people comedy, and it is ready to be performed on a stage. And I suppose it could be performed in audio as well. But after doing it, I said, "Curtis, you copped out. You wanted to make a hard comment on satire on politics. So now that you have audio, try it again." So this is the second version of the same play, one a comedy and the second one a comedy, except different kinds of comedy. So sorry to ramble on so long, but I just thought this was in in this this time of political division, that it might be of interest. Um, so um, I I wanted to ask both of you about your performance of this particular uh, play or show. Um, uh, Constantine, you do a lot of voiceovers, right?
I mean, yeah, mostly through you.
No, no. Aside from me, have you done voiceover commercials or other other stuff like this?
You know, only dabbled, only auditioned, but never fully immersed in it.
So what was it like, basically, without your opposite in the room?
Mhm.
What was it like? How did you get up for, the intensity of basically being who you were, um, without the stimulus of somebody looking you in the eye and talking right in your face?
Well, it's funny. Steve and I actually tried a different method, because generally when I would record with my girlfriend, Mandy, we would try to do it sitting across a table to have that kind of natural, back and forth. But knowing that Steve and I wouldn't be able to have that, we just did like what was it? We FaceTimed or we
Yeah,
Zoomed?
we got on FaceTime. I went into the booth over here, and I put him on my music stand,
One over
and then I put
here.
the studio microphone in front of me, and he did the same thing,
Yeah.
and it served two purposes. One was the interaction actor to actor, and the other was, for me as the editor, to have some kind of like consistent linear timing, because
Mhm.
how we were doing it was a lot, it was non-linear, meaning like everybody just gave their tracks, and then I had to place each line one by one after the other, and then edit for time and pacing and all that kind of stuff. So this kind of saved a little bit on there, which I think it helped. I think it was a cool idea.
Mhm.
Well, you know, it sounds, when it's played, it sounds as if you're on the same hospital floor. You can hear the shuffling in the background, again, thanks to Steve's uh, you know, sound effects. Sound effects, is, by the way, kind of became a hobby of mine when I started uh, uh, producing these and providing you with them. I went on a free sound effects website, and I was astounded at what you can find if you know how to ask the question,
Yeah,
because it's got to be very specific. A sound of people shuffling on a floor, not on a gravel path or not on a rug. You
yep,
can get that. And I heard some, when I was looking for some, not in this particular one, but in another play where there's heavy breathing and and sexual noises, I went on those, and I found women recording their husbands at their moment of climax and vice versa.
yeah,
And
yep,
I mean, I'm not kidding, you can get anything.
yeah.
Um,
If you can
on,
think it, you can find it.
yeah. So I provided some of these to Steve, but he had the right to scotch any of them and provide his own, which he did. And it just came out brilliantly. Um, and so I gather this FaceTime is an innovation that perhaps other people performing, I don't know if this is original with you or whether it's probably a way that people are solving the very same problem. Remember, I'm just telling the audience that you guys are not only not in the same room, you're not in the same state.
Right,
No.
Um,
right.
so, to do this, I think was very innovative of you. And if it isn't being done by other performers doing theatrical or audio shows, it certainly is something that they should uh, know works very, very well as a
Yeah.
rehearsal mechanism, right?
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to do, and
Good.
there are professional services that do this with, like, I mean, instantaneously. This has a little bit of a delay, but it was useful. It was very useful for what we needed to do.
Well, I was a complete greenhorn when it comes to audio. I mean, I had no idea how it works. Um, and so the innovation to me was all fresh. So, Constantine, do you have anything you want to say about the play itself, or any? I mean, you're in other plays coming down the road, and I'll be asking you and the other actors to just give your opinion of how it felt. I guess my one question I always ask actors is, like, did you become Stanley in this play, or were you just basically acting and acting very well?
You know, as a rule of thumb for myself, I look at the character and see how much of myself I can add into it so it can become more natural for that character. So you do get a little bit of perhaps this in terms of the voice. This is, I think, the second time I've had to record an old Jewish voice. And so, and I'll tell you what, when I finally came up with it in an earlier episode, which I'm sure is going to be later on this season, I cracked myself up. I'm like, I hope this is what it is. And you loved it. So then I was happy to bring it back for Get Well Soon. And so I kind of took what I felt the comical edge to that kind of voice, and then kind of inject, that little slice of life that you get from this interaction.
Right.
This is the first, I would say, politically charged, work that I've gotten to do and really dive into. And, I remember, like, during Thanksgivings, I would have, my uncle, the conservative, and my aunt, the Democrat, and, always clashing. You had to, oh, this and that and that. And you know what? It was no different reading this piece.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed it. So I felt like I was right at home for that moment of, like, it's funny that everyone can see the same problem or see the same thing.
You can hear this conversation at every Passover gathering of Jewish people. I mean, when I come from an orientation that goes back to not just to radio, but all those Jewish comedians. So I hear that the Jewish comics in my head when I write them, and some of the language gives away that yes, this guy was undoubtedly Jewish, and you caught it, and good for you.
I try.
And you've done good. Both of you done good.
Thank you.
So we'll meet again the next time. Maybe you and Megan and Steve, because the next one we're doing is Affair of the Heart.
Oh, great!
In which you were the Dr. Lover.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So.
And that's where I use those sexual sound effects.
That's
oh, nice.
Which everybody will hear.
Yeah.
Can't wait to know what I sound like.
Oh, it's
heavy breathing.
It's weird. It's weird.
What a heavy breathing. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And Steve, you can cut it off. Is there any other business we have?
Because so you were saying that you have done. I'll splice this in. You were saying you have done voiceover work. We've both done voiceover work together.
Right, we've worked
for
together
an entire season of 2017, 28. I think 2018, something like that.
Losing my mind.
Yeah,
could just be the current event.
In my opinion, don't edit this. Just run it. Okay?
Keep it. Just run
You
it.
okay with that, Constantine? Because
I'm totally fine with
well,
it.
I stopped. I'm saying because I stopped it and then I started it back up again. So I'm gonna.
That's okay. If someone wants to, pull, it's fine.
demonstrating that actors are human beings.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
All right.
That's right.
Take care, everybody.
All right.
Hey, you as well.
When can I see you again?
We have an appointment next week.
Roger isn't returning till tomorrow evening. Come to me in the morning. No, spend tonight with me.
Are you mad? I have a wife.
You made an excuse the last time.
I have to go.
What happens when a sex-starved wife has a love affair with her cardiologist while her husband is away.
Remember to take those pills.
When?
I'll let you know.
What, Alan? Are you still here? Who's in there? What's in there?
Find out on the next episode of Tales from the Creepery, Affair of the Heart. Get creeped out at thecreepery.com.